Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave, episode 23. Today I'm going to be talking about a system that I haven't played in a while, and not just the system, but a game in particular that I haven't played in a while. And, well, to talk about the system, when I set up my man cave, I had to decide which consoles I wanted to keep out, which ones I wanted to have on display, which ones I wanted to play. And so the three that I have hooked up right now to my TV would be my Atari 2600, my Intellivision, and my Nintendo, because I felt like playing a lot of Nintendo over the Halloween season. I was playing Castlevania a lot, and I thought, I need to put some other ones on display, and ones that I plan on playing again, just to remember some of the games I used to play. And so specifically this one here, the SEGA Genesis, I've been thinking about it, and I remember some of the games that I used to like on it. I was always more leaning on the Nintendo than the Sega. I know that there's usually a divide there. There's the people who love the Sega, and then there's the people who love the Nintendo, and some people love both. But I used to always gravitate towards Nintendo. But anyways, Sega did have a lot of good games, and the game I want to talk about today is called Taz-Mania. Now, my first experience playing anything with Taz was on the Atari 2600. I bought the game, I don't even remember now, sometime in the 90s. It was one of those later additions to the Atari 2600 when the 2600 Junior came out, the little guy. And they thought that they could, provide this more affordable gaming system to coincide with things like Nintendo and Sega. And, it was alright. It lasted a little while. Anyways, the game that I'm talking about now is Taz-Mania. This was one of those games that when I got my Sega Genesis, I said I had to have this game. This was probably the game I got first. Because I liked the character. I love Taz. Even in the Looney Tunes, every time the Looney Tunes was on TV, I was always hoping there would be a Taz episode. And I actually think I have the videotape of all the Taz episodes in there. Wasn't a fan of some of the later stuff that came out. I know they made a cartoon series just on Taz, and that's probably what this is mostly based on, is the cartoon series. So let's take this guy for a ride. I'm going to take my trusty Genesis, drop in my Taz. Now, one thing to note too about the Genesis is that the controller is probably one of the most popular parts of the system, I would say. Everybody always talks about using these things, especially when you play Atari. A lot of people like to use the Genesis controller. So anyways, let's give this a shot, shall we? Now, the fun thing about playing a game you haven't played in a while is trying to remember how to play it. I did a little bit of playing before I recorded this, so just to kind of get somewhat of a familiarity to it. But okay, so we're getting a story here, and really the storyline in this is kind of weird. It's just Kaz hearing a story about these prehistoric eggs, and all he thinks about is eggs, and he wants eggs. So that's your story. I'm not familiar with these characters either. Like I said, I didn't really watch the Taz-Mania show, so I'm sure that these are all referenced from the show. So what I like about this is it kind of gives you that kind of island view, and kind of like with Super Mario Bros. 3. What I just did was I ate some peppers. Now I can blow fire. The other thing I'm noticing, I don't know if this is just my controller, but I really have to stomp these buttons, so I might need to get a new Sega Genesis controller just to get them to jump sometimes. Now, also, what I have to admit is when I got to this part, I kept doing this. I kept falling into this thing and sinking. And I assume, it must be like Super Mario Bros. 3 when he goes into the sand pit. He just keeps jumping, which is what I was doing, and I just kept sinking. It just turns out that I really have to pound this button. It could just be because of my controller. And there we got some soda. So right off the bat, I could say like the graphics are typical Sega Genesis graphics. You got that background there. The drawing looks really well done. It looks like Kaz. There's no doubt about that. Some of these characters are a little odd. And to run, you gotta spin. I believe the pop is just for health points. I don't have a manual anymore, and that's another thing. I'd have to go online and try and look it all up. But I just want to have some fun here. Okay, so I can eat the villains. That's nice. Oh, a wall. Okay. So that tells me I probably have to go up. Yep. I just love spinning around. It's so much fun. Just want to go spin through the bolt. That was a mistake. Guess I can't speedrun through the game if I haven't played it in a long time. There we go. So these are obviously the checkpoints. Every time you pass one of these, this is where you're going to save. Okay, this seems a little tricky. Yeah, I thought so. There's spikes down there, so you don't want to fall off of this thing. Huh. And some bombs are up there. We'll have to figure out what those are. All I know is the hot peppers make you breathe fire when you push the button. Let's see if I can jump on this guy. Yeah, I can. Uh-oh. I had a bad feeling about that. So you can pick the... Whoops. Just blew it up. Hey, there's a save point up here. Okay. I'm not sure if you have a limit to how many times you can do this. It doesn't seem to show me anywhere. There's nothing to indicate that. The controls are a lot like I remember them. Whoa. And when you don't have anything like the fire, he just kind of does this growly looking face. It's interesting that they chose like some kind of soda pop, like root beer or something. This is interesting. I guess I have to drop down. Oh. Every time I walk onto those bombs, he eats it, so you gotta be careful with the bombs. And I just died. Yeah, that's a good strategy. I guess you spin. Oh! Wow, they just strategically placed those bombs there so you run into it and eat it. I'm just gonna keep spinning until I run into those guys. Oh! And my soda. Ah. Now, I like this too, the continuation. You can either go to the exit or you can continue. They give you 3 continues, not too bad for this style of game. I think I have to go up. That's another thing too, is some of these games, it's hard to tell what parts of the background you can jump on and what parts you can't. Always one of those frustrating things about these multi-layer graphics. Even the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, had that problem with certain games where the platforms look like the scenery, and the scenery look like the platform, and you think you could jump on it, and you can't. And you fall. Case in point, I don't know where I'm supposed to go here. Let's go that way either. So when you jump and you spin, you go further. That's good. Good. Oh no. I have to admit, these guys do look funny. Well, as you can see, I'm kind of lost. I think I know where I'm supposed to go, but just not having any luck getting there. And I'm out. Yeah, so that was kind of fun. I mean, it was a nice blast from the past playing this game. It just kind of shows you that, especially people like me who like to collect the old retro games, we tend to get them and put them in a box and almost forget about them. So having them out on display really gives you that that chance to rethink of what you used to play and try out these old games again. Unfortunately, there's just so many of them, right? There's so many systems. So unless you're just a die-hard fan of a specific system and that's all you wanted to play, then, you know, all power to you. As far as the Sega is concerned, the Genesis anyways, we're going to have to wait and see what this new system that they're talking about, or this reproduction Sega Genesis system that they're talking about. The news is very recent, so I don't know if it's going to come preloaded with games or if they're going to try and sell cartridges again. I know there's been a lot of debate about that, on whether cartridges could ever make a comeback. I would love to see them make a comeback, but realistically, I don't see it happening. They're too expensive to make. It's so much cheaper to just have downloadable stuff. It's so much cheaper to even just put it on a CD. So I just can't see cartridges coming back. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think of this game. Let me know what you think of the Sega Genesis. I do have a few other Sega Genesis games. I also have a Sega Master System, which I was thinking of hooking that up. Maybe that'll be another video. I'll look at the Master System, hook that up. Very similar to the Nintendo, so, you know, why not? Anyways, I hope you subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think of Taz-Mania. Let me know what you think of Taz. Even if you played the 2600 Atari version, I want to hear it. Talk to you later.